how that works, and that is if you have a body that's 50% human, 50% reptilian genetically, then the body doesn't know how to manifest. So it defers to the mind pattern. So, for example, if there's a reptilian soul entity that's in that body, the body will defer to the reptilian genetics. If there is a human entity in the body, it will defer to that genetics. So many of the Illuminati have reptilian entities in this 50-50 genetically split body. So they say they defer to the reptilian side. In order to manifest the human side, they need to ingest human blood, hormones, organs like this, so that there is an energetic human or mammalian energy overriding the reptilian mind pattern, and then they shift back to human. So that's how the shape-shifting occurs, basically. It defers to whatever mind pattern is in control of the body.
I mean, I was a nurse in London, and I was working in a brand new hospital back in 2002, and the Queen came to open up the hospital, and I knew absolutely nothing, you know, and I thought, well, I'll go down and have a look, see what the Queen looks like, and I thought that I was going to really want her, because us Brits, we're conditioned to believe that the poor Queen, she hasn't got a choice, she was born into a job she don't want, and she has to do it for the rest of her life. So to me, she was sort of like this little old lady, you know. And anyway, there wasn't a big crowd. There was only about 15 people. So, of course, and I saw her eye to eye. You know, she come out of her car, and she put the fear of God up me. I tell her, my blood run cold. And she looked at me as if she sneered as well, and I thought that's typical. I'm working 12.5 hours a day to keep her into what she's accustomed, you know, and she sneers at me, so I turned my back and walked away. But now I wonder, was it because she was coming into a hospital and all that blood?
Well, you know, for her, it was probably a very difficult situation to maintain her form, you know, because the hospital was full of all that harmonics, and she probably just wanted to, you know, take all that in. But it's very interesting that you had that experience, because years ago, in fact, it was 1979, I was at Buckingham Palace looking at the changing of the guards with my friend from East Acton in London. And, I started climbing up the gates. And then all of a sudden, and he started pulling at my leg. He says, Stewart, you better turn around. And I turned around, and there was the Queen, all dressed in her pink little suit and her little hat and gloves waving. And I looked at her, and she looked at me, and all of a sudden I fell onto the ground and broke my foot.
Was it the shock of seeing her, or was it? Did she have the same effect on you as she did on me? I just froze at the spot. I mean, my blood ran cold, and I was so shocked.
Yeah, she's not a nice little old lady, I'll tell you that much.
No, it's like she scared the living granny out of me, and there was me expecting her to be this sweet little old lady. So, of course, I didn't go with that mindset. I thought I was going to come away and become quite a royalist. Instead, the opposite happened. Now, I've got to say on here, and Say's asked a question, can Stewart tell us where the surviving Nibirians are, and where the reptilians on Earth, and where are the reptilians on Earth who wants peace?
Oh, you mean are there reptilians that are not so aggressive, so to speak? Well,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there really aren't too many of those around. You know, the good guys don't interfere. The good guys, so to speak, they let everybody work their issues out so that they know what the truth is. You know what they say in Chinese? They say if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. So the good guys basically let us learn ourselves so that we can survive. But as far as the Nibiruans that survived, I don't think there's too many that were left. The information I have is that most of them are dead, but I do assume, maybe incorrectly, but I do assume that some of them have survived, and when I get that information, I certainly will pass that on. But, you know, the reptilians, the 100% true reptilians, they're all under the earth. and they're all over the place, especially in warmer climates. They prefer warmer climates, but they're basically everywhere.
So the true reptilians, are they in control of the human reptilians, would you say? Are they still in contact with them and in control of them?
Yes, but Debbie, the thing is that the hybrids, the Illuminati, want to be the ones in control now, and they want their own empire. And so we're seeing a battle between the 100% or the purebred reptilians and the Illuminati as well. So there's
right.
Yeah, so there's
a lot of infighting going on.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. I mean, this is why they all inbreed as well. Right. Also, we're going to Niberians. We haven't got long left. We've only got about 3 minutes. I think the giants was descended from them. So, because they found statues of people that were about 36 inches tall. I've got one more question. What is your opinion about the eye of Jupiter shrinking?
Can you repeat that?
Have you got an opinion about the eye of Jupiter shrinking? I think it was shrinking.
Yes, I talked about this a lot, and that's, back when that string of pearls, the comets, supposedly, hit Jupiter, that was artificial, and they aren't turning Jupiter into a second sun. And so as it heats up, the eye is shrinking, and other centers are opening up there. But we're seeing, if you look at Jupiter now, it's much brighter than it used to be, and it is heating up. So we're going
I think that was called the Lucifer Project, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and also, maybe it's me, but to me the moon looks like it's getting brighter. There's changes around the moon. I don't know if that's me, Stewart.
Well, a lot of people have said that, and that is because the moon has actually gotten just a tad closer than it used to be.
Oh, right. Is there any reason to that? Is that a natural phenomenon, or do you think the moon is being moved a tad closer?
Yeah, it is being moved, and there is another moon behind it, a second object.
I've heard that. I've heard as well that we've got 3 moons.
Well, yes. In fact, NASA admitted a couple of years ago that there was a second object, and then they dropped the whole story.
Yeah. So we do hear snippets. They do let snippets out. But it's wonderful when people like you that have really studied this, and it's been a lifetime's work, hasn't it?
Yeah, it sure has.
Yeah, and it'll carry on for a lifetime. Are you obsessed with it? Do you find it quite obsessive?
Well, it just becomes a way of life, and my goal is to take what's out there and tell people what the truth is behind it, so that it can all change, and so that we can remove the victimization mentality that attracts all of it.
That's right. We're not victims. We're fighters.
Right.
We are not victims. Stewart, we've got 1 minute left, and thank you so much for coming on my show. I have enjoyed every minute, and thank you for your patience.
Well, sorry that I caused your circuits to blow out there, but...
No, that's okay. I forgive you it all. I'm just so glad that you stayed on and we could carry on. And please come back again, because this has been wonderful. And thank you to all the listeners out there for listening in. And Stewart, I'm going to leave the last 41 seconds to you.
Well, I appreciate all you listeners out there, too. Please come visit my site, expansions.com, and come with us on some of our trips. I'd love to meet all of you.
And when you come to London, you let me know, because the first person you're going to meet is me. And we can do a show together.
That would be great.
Face to face. It'd be brilliant.
Yes, it would be.
Anyway, thank you so much, Stuart. I'm going to drop you an email just after the show, and I can't wait for the next one. I just can't wait.
Thank you. Let's arrange it, and then we'll get together.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Thank you so much, Stuart. You have a lovely day.
Thank you. You too, Debbie.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you to all the listeners. Yeah. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.